you.
Keep going till it's not.
Yeah, that was it. If they're close to it. Good. I don't know how to shop. I don't know what the well is.
Guys, like over?
I think you can do it.
I'm sorry, what?
They do it.
It's nice to have a meeting with her.
These ones are good. These ones are good.
You ready to go with it?
Yes.
Come on in.
Town of Brookfield Planning Board meeting, I'd like to call this to order, 6 p.m., August 10th. Roll call on Ed Ingles, present, Steve Berry,
Present.
Donna Fassett, Lee Gage,
Yes.
Marcia Goldberg,
Here.
Mark Lofgren,
Here.
Rich Stacker.
Here.
We don't have any alternates. And the first item on the agenda is a public hearing regarding the Smith gravel pit. I'm going to turn it over to Marshall as I'm going to recuse myself, and Leah is going to recuse herself as well from this discussion. Ready, Marshall?
So Leah has a sign-in sheet. Okay, so it's going around. If you want to speak, obviously you have to sign in and put your address in. Just a couple of rules of conduct. You should address all the comments to me, the vice chair. Identify yourself, your name, address as you speak, before you speak, and just be respectful. We're all neighbors here. So with that, this is a continuance of the public hearing, but let me just read it again. The Brookfield, and this was for the original meeting on July 6th, but we're here as a continuance. So the Brookfield Planning Board will hold a public hearing on Monday, July 6th at 6 in the town offices at 267 Wentworth Road to discuss an intent to excavate application and gravel pit permit for Thomas Smith, map 11, lot 1, 228 Governor's Road. The application is available for inspection at the Brookfield town offices during normal business hours. So with that, obviously, Mr. Smith is here. Thank you for coming. And we can continue the hearing. So I would first like to get comments from the public.
Jennifer McCown, Governor's Road, Brookfield. I would just like to put it on the record that at this meeting on July 6th, I requested that the public be invited to attend the pit inspection, and I'm a little disappointed that that didn't happen, or that maybe the board didn't think it was worth the effort that would have to go into it. And so I wondered why. I mean, I know that the lawyer gave some reasons, but that took 3.5 weeks. Should have done like a 2-minute phone call to the lawyer. So I was very disappointed that I couldn't go on the pit inspection, which I believe has happened.
Yes, we do have a pit inspection report that we will share, and Steve and I went last Friday, and we will share that information. Any other public comments?
We can make more comments as the meeting goes along.
Absolutely. So Steve, I think it would be appropriate if you kind of walk them through what we observed and what we saw and what we reported.
Okay, put me on the spot. Marshall and I went ahead and went to the pit, figured out where it was. The area appears to be well managed. There are a couple of areas that I think should be reviewed and addressed by Tom. Mainly, there are no trespassing signs anywhere. And there is no,
Can I answer that?
not until I'm done. The sign right at the beginning of the street says 28. You're actually at 228. Emergency vehicles would have difficulty, finding, if they were called in for an emergency, that, they drive right by. Being that there are no trespassing signs, there, then anyone could, just drive down there and take a look around. There is one pit that exceeds the 1-to-1. Grade, and if you put a couple of logs around that, that would reduce it to it won't be a safety issue. But other than that, it seems to be, within your, I think it's only about 1.2 acres in size that you're playing with. And everything seems to be fine, other than the few notes that I noted there.
Any other?
Could I address the size of the pit?
Sure.
I'm really confused about the size of the pit. I have an excavation permit from 1999 that I can pull out if I need to, that shows the size of the excavated pit to be 6 acres with 4 acres reclaimed. And then I went through some more of the gravel monitor's intent to excavate forms, and for about 20 years it shows the size of the pit to be 4 acres with none reclaimed. And now you're saying the size of the pit is, maybe we're confused.
You'd have to look at the pictures that I took. I didn't, go out to the extended area. It was primarily what you could see off of Google Earth, and that size of the pit as to what is actually being worked. It can work up to 4 acres. And so he's well within that parameter.
Well, it says the amount of pit that was excavated was 4 acres for the last 20 years. It doesn't say active pit area. It says the excavated area is 4 acres. And back in 1999, it said the excavated area was 6 acres with 4 reclaimed. I don't know, I don't make much sense of those figures.
So you're saying that leaves 2 acres of difference?
I'm just saying that right now, as there are no trespassing signs, I've been out there, and it looks like a lot more than 4 acres have been excavated.
Tom, what do you think?
For one thing, I'm not from Massachusetts, and I don't believe in putting no trespassing signs. We put no trespassing signs and people steal them or take them down. As far as reclaiming the property, you can't reclaim it till the dirt has been taken out. I don't know how you're supposed to do that. Yeah, I've been doing it for 30 years and we still haven't really made a dent in it, so.
So in your finding,
I think, I'm
yeah.
pretty sure, as far as the acreage goes, you're allowed, when I bought it from Bruce, you're allowed 5 acres, and we're permitted for 10 acres. And it's basically reclaimed itself. That's how long it's taken me to get it out of there, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a commercial business. It's a family-owned, private property. We don't sell to big truckers. We've done that on purpose for years to keep everybody happy. So anyways.
The acreage that I had quoted, I had attempted to use a GPS and come up with latitude, longitude. I've got 6 points identified, put it into an application found online, and that's what it came up with as to how much is actually being worked right off. So as far as I'm concerned, he's within the parameters. He's allowed 4 acres to play. And he's within that, and so life is fine. No trespassing signs, put them, 50 feet in the road, but that way, that would, I think, please the insurance company a little bit. And just that one spot that has a one, larger than 1 to 1. But you've got the logs, within, 20 feet of, that spot. But everything else was fine.
So I guess we're confused about whether the numbers shown on this refer to the active pit area or the total excavated area. I mean, I'll show you this from 1999 where it says that 6 acres were active and 4 were already been reclaimed, but you don't think there's been any reclamation so far? I guess I can't ask Mr. Smith.
Can I speak?
Sure.
If you take a ride down in there, most of it's reclaimed itself. That's how long we've been in there.
And there
What do
is,
you want me to plant, like raspberries?
Blueberries might be nice.
Oh, yeah, right.
there is a lot of reclamation material there and available.
Thank you.
How long have you owned it? Did you own it in 1999?
97.
97.
No, I did not. I did not own it. My mother owned it.
Okay.
It's a family mess, whatever.
Well, that may be a better choice
Well,
of
she's
words.
deceased, that's why she's not here.
Yeah. How many loads do you take out a week, would you estimate?
Load, how many yards?
How many
cubic
trips
yards?
are you taking in and out of there?
Nothing right now. I'm on the downhill side. I'm gonna sell it next week probably.
Okay. Is it on the market?
No, but it can be immediately.
You interested?
You wanna hear some noise and some dust, I'll tell you.
No, I just didn't know what the activity was. I'm not familiar with it.
It's very limited. It's a private pit. We do not sell to anybody except me and my son-in-law. And that's it. Well, we don't sell it. I mean, I use it in my own use.
So the number of trucks a month?
None right now, none at all.
None right now,
No.
but in the past,
In the past, okay, divide, 1,200 yards by 8.
okay,
And that,
and that's it,
roughly.
roughly.
Did I misunderstand that? Did you just say you're gonna sell it?
Yes, it's my property. I can do
No,
anything.
I just said.
Why, do you want to buy it?
No, I'm just concerned that if you do sell it,
Yeah, well, you're gonna hear some dust and some noise, believe me.
Oh, you were just using, we misunderstood you to say you're gonna sell it.
Yes, I am gonna sell it eventually.
Eventually.
I ain't got much longer to live, but
Okay, okay, fair enough. Any other questions?
can I make one comment?
Yeah.
I guess I don't understand reclamation. I thought reclamation was supposed to follow some guidelines, and I didn't think it was just supposed to be natural reclamation.
you can't reclaim the pit till the dirt is removed. There's still 90,000 yards there. Was I out of line?
No. Yeah, we're having a conversation.
Well, there's supposed to be some incremental reclamation, if I'm reading the regulations properly.
Well, the regulations say that you should have a reclamation plan. And right now, we don't really have a formal plan.
And I guess that's what really bothers me.
And when we're here today to discuss the pit, and we will also talk about whether we want to, as an extension for this year only, that he has you only, get a temporary permit, and then come 2027, we will lay out what he needs to do to be in accordance with RSA 155. So we will be talking about what he needs to do beyond what we have. But
And
that's
let's,
the
can
answer.
I interrupt? If Mr. Smith did sell the pit next month, what would happen to the reclamation out there? There's no bond on that property to assure there's some reclamation.
Well, that's true. So part of what we're gonna ask him for is a bond in '27.
Well, what if he sold it next week?
If he sold it next week and we had a new owner, we'd start all over from the beginning.
Somebody new would have to get their own permit, it wouldn't necessarily
It
go
doesn't
with the land.
transfer with the land.
If a pit has not been used in 2 years, the reclamation needs to start and be completed in a year. He has been using it continuously.
In a very small.
Yeah. Yeah. So if he's been using it, then the reclamation does not kick in until he stops using it, or he moves to another location within the 10 acres that are allowed.
And he also, every year, has to have an excavation plan. It's annual.
Okay, so I want to bring up a real can of worms, which I think has come up before this board before. Is this pit legally grandfathered?
Yes. And we've.
Can you show me that documentation? Because I spent
Yeah.
a long time going through the town records trying to find an excavation report from 19, it had to be dated before 1991.
That's 76 to 79. 76 goes back to 76.
I'm Marilyn Bushman, Tucker Road. My concern is they're not stumps, they're tree trunks or something on my border on the right-hand side when you go in. I don't know what direction.
Where the
it
boat is?
Excuse me?
Where that, is that the right hand side, Steve?
Well, you're on Tucker Road, right?
Right.
And you're talking about tree trunks that are,
In the pit, right up against my side of the pit. And they just, I think it's a fire hazard, that if somehow they got, somebody told me that there's fireworks going on in there, 4th of July, Labor Day, whatever. And lightning the other night that we had, I just thought, there goes my forest. If my forest catches on fire, there goes Brookfield. They're all connected, I'm sure.
How close is that to your boundary?
It's right up against it.
I mean, is it 10 feet, 5 feet?
There's no feet.
It's on your property?
It's not on it. This is, the bank has, what do you call it, a cliff or something?
A
And
steep
all
slope?
of this timber is right up against it. And it's been there for a while, so it must be pretty well dried out and timber-like.
So they're tree stumps is what you're saying?
Yeah. What would you call them, George? They're huge.
Well, there are lots and lots of stumps out there, and about 10 years ago, I expressed some concern about stump dumping out there, and I was told that it was legal. However, I do know that New Hampshire DES has no record of a stump permit for that pit. Now, whether the town has a record of a permit for that pit, I don't know. And I'm not trying to be a pain in the neck. I don't want a housing development behind me. I just want some oversight, and ultimately I want some reclamation. Not just natural reclamation.
Fair enough. Anything else, anybody else?
One more thing, I have two concerns, that's the first one, and the second one is, I assume I have 4 stakes and a pile of rocks. I figured that's my boundary, but I've never been verified. And how far away from the pit are those stakes? I don't know how to say it. Supposed to be 50 feet. From my stakes, if these are the boundary stakes, to the pit should be 50 feet. And when I measure them, they're 25 feet. And I don't know,
Sideline says,
as you come closer.
I don't have 155 right here.
I didn't hear you said.
I didn't need,
Oh, I said it would be unusual to have 50 feet as a sideline setback. Usually your sideline setbacks are maybe 10 feet, depending on the zoning. You'd have to check the zoning.
We'd have to check with the state issue 155E.
Where it says gravel pits needs to be 50 feet away from an opposing abutter and can be 10 feet close to an abutter that's happy. That's the way I read it.
Okay.
We will look at that.
thank you.
No, can I speak?
Sure.
The pit was existing when I bought it, so I don't know these people or where the property lines are, but I have not encroached on anybody's property lines that I know of. The pit was existing. You know, you take the top, it ain't all the same dirt, you have to take what you can get, the easiest stuff, and then after a while, you gotta go for the other stuff. So again, I didn't mean to encroach on anybody's properties that I know of, because I know where my property lines are.
I believe she's talking over by where you've got the boat.
The boat.
You know the one I'm referring to.
Yes,
right?
it's not my boat. I sold it to my brother and then he died. And it's kind of there for some reason.
Well, we're not here about that. We're not
You
here.
want to buy it?
No, I got plenty of
Sale.
its homework.
Oh, you're buying it? So you're talking towards Upper Road?
Yeah, they live on top of it.
You
Yeah.
come in that little road into your pit from Tucker Road.
I don't come in.
No.
No, I know you
Because
don't.
they started complaining about that years
I know,
ago.
but I'm just
So they
telling you,
immediately
that's,
shut it down.
that's where my land is over on that right-hand side from that little road, that whole border,
Okay, I live right next to Fran Tucker, right?
Yeah.
Tommy Tucker.
yeah.
So what are you hauling, dirt or sand or gravel?
It's,
Yes.
again, it's,
All of the
depends on
above?
what you need. It's very limited, you have to screen it, you have to work it, it's not there for the taking. I've been in there since 1997, called Bruce and asked him, but he's been dead for quite a while too, so.
No, it's a toll call.
Actually, I was hauling, when he owned it, I hauled it, I was like 16 years old.
But I guess predominantly, since I'm not familiar with the pit, I mean, I know there's sand pits,
Yeah.
this is a
And that's
gravel
where
pit.
people used to go do drugs and smoke dope and party and whatever. The trespassing sign, believe me, I had them up.
Yeah.
If you look on the ground, they're down.
Yeah.
I didn't, and people use that for walking horses or doing day trips, whatever they do over there. And it doesn't bother me.
Okay.
You don't use my property, I don't abuse yours, I mean, and I'm not, that's.
I did not find any party material down in there.
We've got
I didn't find
all the
any
nuclear
campfires.
waste.
Nobody left your pack yet.
Cleaned up the whole first.
I've been doing the best I can. I'm a one-man contractor. I mean, we don't haul truckload after truckload day in. We used to. My brother doesn't work for me anymore, and I haven't hauled anything out of there except a few loads, and I'll give you the 2 cents right now per yard. You know what I mean?
It's crazy. That's another issue. Can I make one more comment?
You can make as many as you want.
Thank you. On the inspection report, it says that there's no evidence of erosion or past. So, this is a picture of the pit that is closest to my boundary line. And I'm not sure how trees falling in the pit aren't evidence of pretty drastic erosion. And that pit is an area too that there's no safety fence around.
Being that that pit does not have easy access to the top of it because of all the trees and everything there, we thought that wasn't a dramatic concern. There's one little closer that I mentioned it exceeds the 1-to-1, and he could easily put some logs right in front of it, and I think that would be a better safety hazard.
What about this one? Are you commenting on this one?
All that, I commented, because of all the trees that are at the very top of it, there is no easy access into that. So I don't consider that you'd have to have a fence or a barrier around it. It is not a walking area inside the pit. There is an exception in there, but not in terms of that one there.
Well, luckily, kids today don't fool around in the woods like they used to, but to me, that's a real safety hazard. I know maybe they shouldn't be out there, but you can't always.
So you've been out there?
I've been out there, it's not posted,
I know.
and as Tom said, right?
I know Mount Washington is open to the public and people fall all the time. It's private property, they shouldn't be out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A deer or an antelope or whatever they have nowadays can fall.
So my other concern though is when that is reclaimed, that slope is, I don't know what percentage that is. To level that out, you'd have to excavate closer to my boundary line. I would assume that some of these pit areas are gonna be ultimately graded so that it's not unsafe slopes when it's reclaimed.
Yes.
So that would be approaching my boundary line.
Well, I think when he comes up with his reclamation plan, he's gonna address that. He has to, part of the plan.
Thank you, that's what, it's in the future, we haven't removed the dirt yet. You can't reclaim something that hasn't been taken out.
Well, there's been a lot taken out of that particular area.
Which area, again, which area are you talking about?
I'm on Governor's Road.
In the far back where you've got about 2 trees that
Can I show
have
that?
fallen down. It's not by your...
Far back?
Yeah, way back. Yeah, you haven't been back there for a while.
No, back towards 109.
Yeah, back towards Governor's Road.
No, well, it's on.
We bought you off of Governor's Road.
No, that's not, no.
Right.
That's a head wall, I own another 300 or 400 feet there, so.
It is still an active area, so reclamation is not necessary at this point.
And that is the only steep head wall. The rest of them I've kept as the best I can over the years.
I think it would be fruitful if Mr. Smith would agree to walk the property with the abutters, just so we could see where the property lines are.
You don't know where your property lines are?
I do, but I want to make sure that we're in agreement.
I don't know where mine are.
I would assume that a survey might be part of the excavation plan that's going to be proposed.
If he already I don't know what he has, to be honest. So he may have survey done, I don't know. So when we get to that point, we'll certainly
I
address
know where
it.
the pins are when I got it from Bruce.
Right.
I'm going to show you any map that I could find of the pit, so as an abutter, I need a little bit more information. If I can find my map.
Carrie Silvernagle, Lightford Road. So I'm just a little confused. Is there a current reclamation plan that Mr. Smith has?
No, there
Written up,
isn't, because
yeah.
it wasn't required when I bought it.
Okay.
That's all I got. They didn't make me, when I bought it, they didn't make me show me.
And there's like a year, if he doesn't, if it's not active for a year, if he went in and, 2 years? Okay. Then he would have to be forced to reclaim
Yes.
certain areas. Okay.
So this is the only map I have. That's the only detail I have of
So show that to Mr. Smith.
his property and the pit area. That's the only thing I could find in the town records.
I think I've got one someplace here.
Well, do you have a survey of your property?
Yes, I mean, I
So you
don't
know where
know.
your property
Right.
is, which is what
That would meet
is
my
important.
property.
Yeah, to you, would be that you know where yours is.
There's also some wetlands in part of the area too that I'm concerned with. And like I said, I
We're
don't want,
not anywhere near the
I
wetland.
don't want a housing development back there, I just want some
No.
reclamation eventually.
Tom, I have a
You never
question.
know what may happen, huh?
I have a question. On the maps, it looks like there's water. In
What?
your, there's, looks like
Wetlands.
wetlands in the,
Yes, it's the
we
pond.
couldn't find it. Where is that?
Thank you.
No, I'm serious. We walked it and I was
Yeah,
looking for
there's
the water.
wetlands all along that property, in back of all those house lots. And there's a pond in, coming in my road from.
I know there's a
Governor's Road.
stream, right?
And there's a
Yeah.
spring down in back, but we're nowhere's near that.
Because that was confusing.
Yes, that's what you don't wanna do, is to dig and piss everybody off about wetlands. I mean, whoops, sorry.
Is it seasonal wetlands or is it all year round?
Thank you, yeah, I'm not a soil scientist.
It's a pond, it's there all the time.
Okay.
It's lovely and it makes me ill to think it
We
would
are
ever
nowhere
disappear.
near wetland.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I'm John Nelson, and I'm still ambiguous about property lines. I hear, I don't know what your name is, but you said it's okay to go the 10 feet, and then there's
I didn't
an
say
issue
that.
with... I understood
I
you
said,
said.
no, I said you need to check the zoning regs to find out what your sideline setbacks are.
Sideline setbacks, and
Right.
now I hear that, but there is a 50-foot
That's a different reg.
property value to where the pit starts.
Yeah, that's a different reg. He's referring to the pit regulations, right?
Say that again, please.
He's referring to the pit regulations. That's a different reg than the zoning sideline setbacks, and I'm talking about two different things.
But the pit rules do say 50 feet from
Exactly.
any disapproving abutter.
Yeah, if it wasn't a pit, it would be.
That's my
different.
understanding, as you would express.
Yeah.
Sure.
Karen Savasic, 223 Governor's Road. I'm just curious, what does the one-to-one mean that you mentioned in your report?
That
I'm not
is
familiar.
Well,
1 foot up, 1 foot in. So you're talking about a steep angulation like that. If you had 1 to 10, no, it would be like that. You know, so it's fairly steep. So that's the only thing I'm talking about. If you're talking ladders, it's 1 to 6. And that's safe.
Anybody on the planning board have any other questions? Ed?
Can we clarify what you mean by pit area or in-use area and property line? Because I'm hearing that there's things by the property line, but I already know this for a fact, because I've inspected the pit over the years, that the entire pit is not the entire piece of property.
exactly.
So I'm not privy to where the stumps are right now or anything else, but you have the inspection is the pit area.
Correct.
And just, I hate to back the train up, just so the public who's watching understands, why are we having this hearing? Under what are we actually having it for? What are the purposes of it? Is it just to complain about the pit, or say it's okay to have the pit, or what is the reason why we're having this public hearing?
It's because this past year, the permit number was not filled out. But the permit number has not been filled out for either pit for many years. But the people who collect the money for the state, which is the Department of Revenue, they were getting frustrated because there's over 200 and some odd pits in the state, and everybody was not paying, and everybody wasn't filling out the form. So they kind of went on a visit to every pit and said, what's going on? So that's what prompted the whole thing. So we didn't have, nobody had.
Can I, see,
Can I follow?
I've filled out that paperwork for 30 years, and the permit number's been on there.
What's
You don't have any record of it?
what's
And
the-
my other problem is everybody I come to deal with in the town of Brookfield is a different person every year, and nobody knew what was going on, because there are no pits.
Marshall took the credit.
Yeah, there you go.
Chris.
He was the one who interviewed with the state.
So I'm the timber monitor and gravel monitor,
Chris Kendall.
Chris Kendall. I'd like to clarify a few things.
Sure.
One, the purpose of the hearing is a temporary permit because the 155E regulations which the town developed, it's the duty of the town to have the 155E regulations, however the town sees fit. Could be as simple as we want to make sure that the owner of the pit is who is doing the work, all the way up to hundreds of pages of regulations. The purpose of the hearing was for a temporary permit in order for the town and the pit owner to have enough time if the town chooses to update their 155E regulations for the following year. The 155E regulations came into play in 1991, and for this particular pit, the date being used was from the 70s on the intent to excavate form. So that is not in compliance with 155E. So what the state asked for was for the town to make sure their 155E regulations were what they wanted, and for the pit owner to start using a date in place of the 155E permit, which is actually the permit number is the date that you okay it. So the point of the whole story here is until those regulations have been either updated or ratified, the ones that exist, this would just be simply a kind of a very simplified temporary permit in order for everyone to have a say in what these new regulations should be. And to the point of the property lines, that's something that should be addressed in the 155E regulations, whether you need to have a survey or not, whether an existing older survey is okay. And in the packet here, I see you have a new inspection report that should be part of the 155E regulations. So just in a matter of speaking, in order to not get too far down the rabbit hole tonight, I would urge the board to accept this temporary permit, and working forward, address the concerns of the people and the pit owner, and come up with either new regulations or ratify the old ones. And also, I would like to speak as a resident of Brookfield that I've lived here my whole life, and I've never known Mr. Smith to be anything but a responsible pit owner. The only two pits we have, he's worked both of them, and there's never, ever been concern that I've heard of. And to his point, to have an active pit with such little activity is almost unheard of. So again, just in terms of what we're doing tonight, I would urge the board to accept the temporary permit.
Thank you, Chris. Anything else
Can we
before?
close the public session?
I just have one more. May I? This board has been having these meetings every single month for years, and this subject has been on almost every agenda. And I would really encourage everybody that wants to get involved in what the 155E protocols are going to be, is to come to the meeting. That way you can help make the board make the decisions on, as in butter, what you would like to see in those regulations. And we have to follow laws. We can't follow, what we feel is not good. We have to make sure, is he on the line? Is he not on the line? Where is the pit? Everything should be, but you need to come to the meeting. I film all these meetings, and there's no public there, maybe one person, Steve Petriclin, that's it. So, I mean, the planning board has come a long way. When I first got on the planning board, there were no official inspections of these pits. So that started the ball rolling after that. And I think it's come a long way. And to be constructive, I think you should come to the meetings and help them put that protocol together so we don't have the issues. Because I really believe the problem is people shouldn't be treated differently. One pit was being treated differently than another pit. Every pit in the town should be the same. Everybody should know the rules and everybody should be following them. And it should be enforced the same way. Last comment is having the public go on a piece of property when it's supposed to be a quorum of the board, I don't think it'd be a good idea to have the public walking all over the property at that point for insurance purposes or whatever. I mean, if you were invited, that's fine, but he's still the property owner. And if only one or two people are inspecting, it's not a quorum. So if you wanted to get invited, I suppose you could ask the chair of the...
I did ask to be invited.
Okay, well, that's up to the board. But I just wouldn't advise people just having a public meeting. It sounded like it was spoken as a public meeting at somebody's private property. That's all. Thank you.
Jan Ledbetter, 359 Wentworth Road. Just a quick question, how long is the temporary permit? Is it
So-
a year? Is it
Next April.
next April?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
April 1st. Any other questions from the planning board? Can we get a motion to provide a temporary permit to
So
Mr. Smith? So moved. Can I get a second?
Second.
We got a dual second. Mark, I'm sorry. Yeah.
they can share it.
You can share it. Yeah. No, we can't have co-seconds. So
I'm-
moved. Okay. So with that, we'll close the public hearing.
Who motioned and who
Go
seconded?
ahead. Never
I
need to vote,
motion.
huh?
You gotta vote on the motion.
Yes, so we're gonna vote on it now. So Rich, you're Rich.
Yes.
Yes. Mark?
Yes.
Donna?
Yes.
Steve? Yes. Me? Yes. So with that, we close the public hearing.
And those protocols are available on the website or available for people to see?
Yes.
Thank you.
So thank you all for coming.
And for your comments.
You're welcome to stay if you want.
I've had enough. I gotta get some no trespassing signs.
So we should, after the first of the year, we'll kind of get together and say, hey, do you want to?
Yeah, no, I understand that we talked about it, change the rules. I had just no trespassing signs, and somebody took them when they brought it up, whatever.
Not too long, this one.
But we'll be,
Must have learned from grandfather. He must have learned from grandfather. You go ahead.
thanks.
See you later when you're out.
You want to use it, you got it. I'm out of the door. Good seeing you. He's over there. You're welcome.
We don't need this. So we want to run yesterday, we want to use it. For all the boxes. Yeah.
Don't know, I'm taking that with face value, they want to make sure. Make sure they have a plan. Protect the reading into their comments a bit. Hopefully. But I think.
Did you get a time to close that
Meeting now?
hearing out? No, did you get a time?
Yeah.
Everybody bailed.
Right.
6:41. So we still have a meeting tomorrow,
Yes.
right? Are you still recording?
Of course.
Okay, thank you.
Anytime.
If you would like to stay for the rest of the meeting, that'd be great. We're going to talk about the master plan and the gravel pit. checklist, the new one that's proposed. I'm not sure why I left that is on their agenda, but anyway. So we'll continue with the regular public meeting at 6:44. And announcements, we have some correspondence that I'll talk about in a minute. Approve any invoices. I have a classified ad for the master plan public hearing, which occurred on July 13th, $68.50 for the union leader. Motion to accept the invoice, $68.50 to union leader.
I motion, yeah, I second that.
Donna motion, Leah second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Mr. Chairman, can you say who's motioning and who's seconding?
Donna and Leah. Motion carries 7-0. For some reason, there's 2 copies here, I don't know why. Second invoice reimbursement request from Leah for sending certified letters to abutters. And this is for the 7-6 hearing for this continuance we just had. And that was $146.72. We have the U.S. Postal Service receipts here, so I'd like a motion to...
Wait, I have a question.
Yes.
This was from the meeting that was continued? We didn't notice people.
No,
We did
this is the original,
Okay.
original notice
That's my question.
right, for the July 6th
I
meeting.
motion.
Okay. Donna, motion, second, please.
Second.
Steve, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Fix that one. Approval for minutes of July 13th, which was our last meeting. Anybody has any comments on that? These were, I think these are your minutes, Ed?
13?
Yeah. I didn't have anything on them. Did anybody else have any?
No.
I move to approve them.
The second?
Mark moved, motion approved, Lee second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries, 2 signatures, Marshall. Any public comments? Chris or Ed?
Yes, how did you know I had a comment? Yes, I had a comment. I just want the record to show that every person that came to this hearing really wanted to know and have comment about this pit is no longer in this meeting, when they
I
could
know.
stay the whole time.
Christie!
I just want to make sure that the record shows that. Thank you. That's all.
That's what the camera's for.
That's true. I did. And it
Thanks
was
for
just me.
staying, Chris.
Thanks for staying. We also have, one of the topics coming up on the agenda is the updated gravel pit checklist.
Yep.
So you'd think there'd be some interest, but anyway.
Yes.
All right, is that it? Public comments? Fee update. I think people have had a chance to look at this. This is selectmen, right?
We're going Tuesday night with what was submitted earlier. I didn't check that it changed, I used the earlier one.
Yeah, I don't think it changed. The only question I had was where it says C incomplete below. I think on the first part there, pre-application design review, notification fees, I don't think there are any. So I think we can take that line out. Yeah, but it's
Just take the whole pre-application out.
Yes.
no, the part where it says 2 notification fees, C incomplete below, I think that can come out.
Oh, I got
Because we don't have that.
you. Right.
So the rest of it was okay with me.
That change's gonna have to be made on the floor at the hearing. It's been posted, so,
You guys don't just vote on this, it's gotta be a public hearing?
oh yeah, it's posted as a public hearing.
It is,
Yes.
on this particular
Yes.
topic? Okay, I didn't realize that.
Yep.
Great.
So that has to be changed at the selectmen's meeting?
Yep.
Okay, so there's the change that needs to be made at the selectmen's hearing.
We suggested and they approved it,
Okay.
that's how I understand it. Gravel pit update, so we just had gravel pit update, maybe to clarify, as Chris commented, we're really just trying to get everything organized. It's been ongoing, there's a lot of paperwork missing. There's questions, there were questions whether both pits were grandfathered or not. And the state stepped in and said we need permit numbers, so that's why we're going through this process. And we didn't want to essentially shut them down, so that's why the temporary permit through April of next year. And we will review our regulations, which actually are really pretty close to 155E. They're 95% of them are right from 155E. But things like the 50-foot, 10-foot setback, we might want to get some more public input the next time we have a public hearing, if we are to change those. And the plan is to get the reclamation standards drafted, as well as the plan from both pits, and potentially a bond, depending on timing, and at least a good faith bond. And that would be by April 1st. I think we will send out letters. Did we send out one to the Moose Mountain? You sent us.
We sent a letter on this. Yeah, we did.
You have a copy of that?
I think it's in the property file.
I think we have to send letters early enough and that are clear enough that they have time to respond. If we're going to ask for surveyors, for example,
Yes.
they got to get it done before.
No, I agree 100%. We should send a letter within a couple weeks.
Yes.
Yeah.
What report, yes.
6 months or whatever.
Yeah.
I think we sent one to Moose Mountain. I remember looking at it. I don't know if it was actually physically sent. Is that it? No, that's something else. So anyway, I think, Marshall, since you presided over this hearing, it should probably come from you. And
Should we send the same, essentially the same letter,
yeah, we might want to,
or similar?
I think, the same letter, and then maybe send to both the steps we want to outline, which we should talk about at maybe our next meeting, and get that out to them by October 1st, so they have 6 months.
Mhm.
Does that sound like a plan to everybody? You don't need to vote, but just
Sure.
verbal. Yeah, Chris, sound all right to you?
Yeah, I think the more time the better, obviously. If you're going to require a full survey of the property, that's one problem with that is finding a surveyor that has the time to do it. The second problem is winter is an issue, and the third is cost. So I'm not sure the cost is necessarily a consideration, but you're probably talking tens of thousands of dollars to complete a survey, and that may be a significant impact for most people in this situation.
I agree.
Do we know how many acres that is, Chris?
Of acres of what?
The 17 and change.
And,
This mountain's a lot bigger.
I had 29 or 28 acres surveyed a few years ago that was all within two roads, and it was $80,000.
yes, so you can appreciate the position that the town may be putting people in, and especially in a situation this where there are multiple property owners. Indeed, research could be pretty lengthy, as well as the actual physical work. And it's not the town's responsibility necessarily to worry about the cost, but I think it is the town's responsibility to at least give time and fair warning as far as the stuff goes.
Yeah, that's a great point. I was a little concerned about that as well. I don't know if it's in 155E, whether it's necessary to do a survey, but in my mind, like if you look at a tax map and you do a Google Earth, you kind of know where it is and how big it is. But
yeah, I think, in my opinion, if there's been something recent, or that they do have at least a deed that has clear boundaries, I think that should be sufficient. But if they don't, if that can't be produced, I think it can become an issue. But I also feel like if an individual has an issue about where the line is, that maybe that could be put on them also. I mean, if it can't be agreed upon, it shouldn't be something that's easily agreed upon. But if there is an issue, if the pit owner has a reasonable deed and a reasonable boundary marked out, if there's conflict, it shouldn't be solely on the pit owner. I think that could be an issue with people that just have an axe to grind.
it wasn't clear whether we had disapproving butters here or not, so it wasn't clear whether the 50 or the 10 foot applied.
I spoke to them at length, and without getting into any detail of that, I don't think there's any issue with it other than exactly what they said. There's confusion about what reclamation is. There's confusion about will trees grow on a certain slope, and they'll grow anywhere. They'll literally grow on a pavement, it doesn't matter, trees are gonna grow. So some of the things that I think are legitimate to maybe iron out in the 155E is to spell out what, is a reclamation plan good enough to say, when we're done, the trees are gonna grow on their own, or do we need to provide details about every single aspect of it? And, I think a lot of the times people are just, they're not super well informed about a gravel pit or how things necessarily work in the woods, or like a pile of logs is not necessarily fire danger, because anything sitting directly on the ground like that absorbs water. So it's more of a rotting problem than a fire problem. But those are all legitimate concerns that people can raise, and I think as many as possible should be addressed in the 155E regulation.
And just to be clear for the public, we are trying to get our act together because the planning board honestly has fallen down over the last 3 years, as well as town records have fallen down. We have, I don't know, a couple of years of permits in the files. And we do have the original one, which has a reclamation plan that says we'll plant trees. Well, what does that mean? It should have been updated. That was in 1976. I mean, that was 50 years ago. We should have had that. We should have 50 of those, but we don't.
And honestly, in this, where we live, planting trees really is not even a necessity. They grow so quickly. If you don't rip them up or mow them, they're going to grow within a year or two.
Right.
So, is that acceptable or not? That's the
I got
fine
some Japanese
details.
knotweed they can put in there and be covered up in about 6 months.
There's already something there, don't worry about it.
So,
Okay, well, thank
So
you.
does the state have reclamation standards that say like you have to fill this in and you have to plant grass and whatever, or is it kind of, is letting nature take its course fine?
I'd have to look, see.
There are minimum standards in the 155E5, which I don't know that it doesn't go into a lot of detail, but there's paragraphs there that talk about, which are required whether you have a plan or not, even if you're grandfathered. Those are standards that the pit owner has to follow.
Thanks for bringing your book.
Sure. I mean, Ed, I don't know how you want to go through, if we're going to update our regulations, I wonder if it's like a working session. I know that some of the boards do working sessions where we just, here's the law, here's what our existing rules say, we've heard what the public has said, go through it and figure out if we need to make some changes in accordance with everything that we've heard and learned.
That's a good idea.
That's a great idea. So like a non-quorum task force, is that what we're talking about?
I'm not sure what it's called, but I just know the select board does it sometimes, don't they? Don't you have working meetings?
Oh, yes.
How does that, can we have a working meeting? How does that work?
You post a working meeting and it can come along. It's just a working meeting. And sometimes they're pretty boring.
Mr. Chairman, can I clarify?
Sure.
Often people keep calling these meetings work sessions, work meetings. It's a public meeting. What the board should do is create a subcommittee. It has a quorum, it has minutes, it has posting requirements. That's how it's supposed to be done. By just separating the board like that and just calling it a working session, what does that mean?
Is it just a special meeting? Why do we need a
It's just
subcommittee?
it's just a subgroup of the main group.
Or it can be a
Why can't it be all
separate
of us?
meeting.
Yeah.
I mean, it can just be another meeting.
Yes.
And it can be posted,
Has to be
but trust
posted.
me, nobody's gonna come.
Well,
That doesn't matter. What matters is you follow the posting.
I know,
Yeah.
you can still post a working meeting.
I believe you can create a task force, which isn't necessarily a quorum, as long as they take minutes and then make a recommendation to the board. So we can do,
I
we
guess
can
the
go
question
either way.
is, do we all want to work on it, or
What will we working on?
do we want to
updating
do a test?
our regulations
Something.
under 155. Because we have
Yeah.
regulations. So we either need to just follow them.
I feel like
Or update.
the 155E is not totally dissimilar from the master plan in that does it need to be gone over, not the whole thing, but it needs to be pulled apart a little bit and address concerns, as well as making sure that it's up to date, because as far as I know, that's from 91.
Yeah.
So our rules state that a reclamation plan shall include a seal and signature of an engineer. So I don't know if that's the same as survey, but it sounds like it might be a cost.
Yeah, certainly it costs, and I would consider that different than a survey. That would be a plan that's drawn up by an engineer to specify what types of vegetation, amount of topsoil replacement, slopes to be left at a certain amount, that type of thing. So again, that's another tens of thousands of dollars type of situation.
The law says that he has to have an engineer seal on it.
Our excavation regulations do. I don't know if it's in 155E or not.
Well, how do you create an extra requirement?
Aren't we allowed to go more stringent? Wouldn't that be in that?
You could be stricter,
You can be stricter, but
but
then.
the state, if the state's stricter, you have to follow the state.
That's when you
So
have-
if the state doesn't require one, we could, and that might have been what happened here? Is all one?
I don't recall.
This isn't just taken from.
I think
It is very close, and if you put both of them into AI,
Yeah.
and you're gonna get like 80% of the way there. But it does look like the reclamation standards in our rules are very similar to, they're just broken out in paragraphs as opposed to like one big blob of RSA.
I would suggest you get a small committee to propose something, as opposed to us trying to do it for 7 people.
Steve, would you, Marshall, and Mark like to do that?
Oh, it sounds exciting.
Only if Chris agrees to come to our meetings.
Oh, but the master plan and the rules of procedure, I don't need to do these things.
So,
Are we allowed to do that?
if it's a small
But you
enough
can
committee, you don't have to post it.
Well, if you have 3 people,
Yeah,
you've
yeah.
got a quorum.
We can do a task
No, it's
force.
4,
Is it 4?
because we're 7 people.
So we can do a task force with 3 people, right?
Isn't
But we do need minutes,
Yes.
Yeah, but he can put all
and
this.
they would make a recommendation
Yes.
to the planning board.
But seriously, can we invite Chris to be a part of that?
Yeah, you should invite general public, along with our road agent.
If you don't mind.
I don't know.
Somebody want to
Sure.
take the AI suggestion? Because I think that would be a good place to start. I'm not telling you guys what to do, but
Take the what?
I would take our regs and 155E and ask AI
To compare.
to compare.
I think another good jumping off point is other towns and what they've done, because some of them are incredibly ridiculously long, like a book, and other ones are very simple.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's always a good place to start with these things.
Is there a town you know of that is simple? Off the top of your head?
Not off the top of my head. Going back to the winter, I did print a few things out, just looking at different regulations, but
Smaller towns, obviously. I mean, the solar thing we did, Dover had 25 pages of solar. Right, I was looking at Middleton's driveways today, and they're like 13, 14 pages, so.
driveway permit regulations are insane. You can go from nothing up to an entire manual. And when you look at the state's regulations, it's crazy, because they're based on highways.
Right.
What about, have you ever asked our lawyer, Rich, for examples of, for example, we want to redo our pit regulations. Have you worked with a town where you had a small, similar size that they'd be willing to share?
And her answer will be yes, and she will forward. She's good at that.
Okay, and even a
Ones that she has personally worked on.
inspection form
Yes, we've got her for
for
starting.
limited
ones.
cost, I assume. She'd share that.
Yeah, limited. Whatever the go
Very
with.
limited.
But it's to get you a good jump start.
Yeah. Okay.
Tamworth has pits, so you could always go to Tamworth's planning board and just look at their regs, they're online.
I think everybody's online at this stage.
Okay, so task force, do we need to vote on that? Anybody know, Rich? No?
I think, you have to make a motion. Make a motion to form a task force. I'll make a motion to form a task force to come back to the board with a proposed excavation ordinance, excavation pit ordinance.
Reclamation plan, right?
Well, that would be part of it. That would be part of it, my friend, right? That's just one of the components. And committee made up of Mark.
Steve, Marshall.
Thank you. Steve, Mark, and Marshall.
Donna, did you want to be on it instead?
No, I'm good.
Too many. Then we gotta go get somebody else. Say 3.
I second what Rich just said.
It's technically a earth excavation and restoration regulations. I don't know if that is in that as well or not, but
How broad do you wanna make it? What do we want? We want the whole,
I think we should look at the whole thing personally. I mean, you don't have to redefine what a butter is, I don't think, but, it's like a lot of this is just go through it and hash it out.
Sounds like fun.
So you had a motion, so did you vote on it?
Not yet.
I don't hear a second.
You missed the second.
Oh,
I did
I did hear it. You were so fast.
definition.
You want to just say to update whatever we call it there?
Oh,
The
this.
earth excavation and.
To update the,
Modify the motion.
to update the Brookfield earth excavation and restoration regulations.
I second that amended motion or whatever it is at this point.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, great. Updated gravel pit checklist. Do you guys want to deal with that, or should we talk about that now?
That should probably go under their wheelhouse, right?
Sure, great.
Now that we've already got it out.
He's already done it, did it?
Yeah.
We better talk about this shit.
We better wrap up the master plan.
All right.
We better get that done.
So that we'll push that out. And I don't think there's any legal update.
I didn't have anything from the, or maybe if you meant new laws, I didn't have anything on that. I
Yeah.
don't know if there's any
I don't think
legal
we have
update.
anything, and nothing from the town that we need to be aware of right now. Rules of procedure, we're very close.
Yes.
We should set a public hearing.
Did you want me to, did I send, I didn't send everybody the applications that I've completed yet.
What's
No.
that?
Okay.
I would send final.
Do you want to send them one at a time, or do you want me to send them all at once?
I would send the whole draft.
Okay.
And then I think we should set a public hearing, which if nobody objects, can we do it at the beginning of the next actual meeting,
The September meeting.
which is
September
September
14th.
14th.
That's fine.
So after you finish that draft, how are you gonna send it so we can open it up?
That is not the master plan, it has less pages, so
I'm not
hopefully
talking
it'll go
about the
better.
master plan.
No, I know, I'm
It's a
just
Word
saying, it
document.
has less pages, so hopefully it'll go better.
Yeah.
The
It's a
master
Word
plan
document.
is too big, it's 90-something pages. I can't email that. I just can't email that. I haven't tried emailing the ROP yet, so I will do a test run and see how that goes. And we'll figure it out from there.
So can we,
Email address and question.
Did you skip the master plan topic?
Let me just make a note about the ROP and then.
I did. It's coming back to it.
Okay,
Sorry.
I don't wanna lose it.
No, you're not gonna lose that, trust me. Okay, so September 14th. Rules of procedure public hearing. You'll have to notice it in the
Can we revisit why we're having a public hearing? I'm sorry.
Update the rules of procedure.
Even though it's not technically required, but we
It's not.
decided we
It's a
would.
courtesy to the public.
Okay. Got it.
So that's gonna be September.
September 14th, 6 PM. We'll start with the rules of procedure, and we'll have copies sent around to everybody, whether by email or
Some other method is, yeah.
Okay, master plan. We had the public hearing. There were a few changes after the public hearing, which if anybody is interested, I can go through those. We changed the estimate of the population growth a little bit, or we added a qualifier in the sentence. We changed, within the executive summary, we changed one word from providing to supporting, or supporting to providing. So really cosmetic changes. Providing, we made maintaining in another one. The map on page 11 needs to be updated with the workforce overlay. We changed all the may and shoulds within the historic resources section to will or shall. Sorry, other way around. We went from will or shall to may or should. Great.
I hope so.
Okay. And next one. This map needs to be updated on page 36. What's wrong with this one? Yeah.
That might be the third one that I just threw in for fun.
So not
By
the scenic
accident?
road on page 37, that's one, right?
Yeah. And,
Okay, so
page
that's
36,
just the wrong one.
okay, that was okay. We don't need that.
Yep.
Page 37, scenic roads, you know how to update that. And we're going to ask SRPC to do that, get us the copies. And we added something about reviewing Brookfield resident access to Wakefield Parks and Recs, with the aim to expand access as part of the master plan. So those were all the updates from public hearing. We took most of the suggestions in hand. I don't think we didn't take any, actually.
And you have the most current Brookfield community profile from SRPC, right? I mean, I sent that.
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. Just making sure that's.
So are there any further thoughts from the board or the public? Actually, no. Nothing. Chris, no? So we can change the master plan pretty much at any time. Doesn't require any kind of warrant article or whatever. So I think we can vote on this, subject to having those two maps updated.
I make a motion, we approve the master plan as written, subject to the update of the two mentioned maps of the workforce overlay district and the scenic roads map.
Do I have a second?
Second?
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
So it was Gage and
Barry.
Barry.
Motion carries.
Yay! We did it, guys!
Okay.
Good for 10 years.
So I think we need everybody's signature before you leave
It'll be
on
done.
both these documents. I wanted to save the best for last, Rich.
We all have to sign it.
Good.
Yeah.
Here comes.
Marshall, sign that one.
That's what's the best.
No, that was it.
Oh, good.
I think that's it. You wanted to just mention the one administrative item on that warrant thing we found, somebody found?
Oh.
Kristen's thing.
That's in your file. So archives found an ordinance from 1990,
Oops.
I think it is. Yes, 1990, that was accidentally dropped from our ordinances as of 1993. It has to do with wetlands protection. Says proposed amendments. Any use permitted in this ordinance, and it's handwritten, so I don't know what word that is. Something structures of accessory building.
Is it a wetland restriction?
Yes, you can't be within 100 feet.
Okay, but
You
isn't the
can't
state
pollute it, you
licensed?
can't, etc. Possibly. I'm
Yeah.
not,
That's been changed now, because we say no structure can be within 75 feet,
Right.
whether it's an ADU or otherwise.
right, but this was, Kristen was saying this was never repealed from our books and it was accidentally dropped from our books, so I wasn't sure what action we need to take on it, if any.
Yeah, so we don't know if there was another warrant article that changed it from 100 to 75 after the state changed it. But we have the correct one, I believe, which is 75, it's the state rule. So if that was an administrative error, and it was still intact, we could just change it.
But we replaced it,
But
right?
we believe we replaced it, so I think we should probably track down the warrant article that changed it to 75. Is that?
Well, I guess the question is, what's the state requirement now? Isn't that greater?
No, it's 75.
I thought it was more than that. I know we could keep it less in case the state changes theirs.
We keep it more, not less.
You can keep it less. If you want to do it as, you can do it less, you still have to comply with the state, whichever stricter applies.
That's what I said, that's what I was trying to say.
Yes.
There can't be closer than 100 feet from any pond, lake, brook,
Yes.
stream, watercourse, marsh, or seasonally wet area
Yeah.
unless an exception is granted by the Board of Adjustment.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's 100, I think, minimum of 100.
So what's the name of the regulation?
Shoreline protection,
Wetlands,
wetlands.
wetlands protection. From 1990 is warrant article 3.
Well, I think we can just research that. We don't have to,
Yeah, we don't have
Must
to
be in my
look at it,
computer,
but I
yeah.
think the state is always going to be greater.
so let's put that on our agenda for next time.
Now, I have a question if it's time for a quick question.
Sure.
At the, I missed this portion of the selectmen's meeting because I wanted to hear the agenda item on that property, 160 some acre parcel that is on the market
Garden Road.
on, Garney Road. What was the outcome of that at the selectmen's meeting?
What was the what?
They were told to go to the zoning board because the guy wants to put a shed on it, or small building of some sort that won't be a house, but he doesn't have the road frontage on Garney or Clark.
Well, yeah, because the only road frontage I could see was a right-of-way of like 25 feet.
Right.
It's across the street from that. You're on the, there's a 50-foot road.
It's what?
I think it's more than that.
Might be.
It's like 150 on Garney Road and 169 on Pike Brook Road.
I couldn't find that.
Where are you going?
Well, my question was, I missed that. I went to the selectmen's meeting wanting to hear what he was going to do. So there is a buyer on that?
Yeah.
He's going to pay $750,000 for that property.
Just for personal recreational
Yeah, that's this
purposes.
Huh?
That was the asking,
Yeah, that's this week.
that was the asking price, my friend.
I know, that doesn't mean he's paying.
That's right, there you go. There you go.
But the other guy bought it for like 100 and change.
Yeah, or something, yeah. So yeah, he was told to go get a zoning variance,
Okay.
and I think he's applied for that already. Did he
Oh,
send his
yeah.
application in today or something?
It's in the works.
Yeah. So that's what that's saying. So a guy that has too much money from Massachusetts.
And Mr. Chairman, I would just remind the member that she can watch the meeting. The meetings are broken down. If you-
Oh, okay.
Once
Yeah.
you left, it's available.
Yeah.
Just refer back to that.
Do you have his card?
No, it's on the website. It's another one.
Or
It's on the
same.
website.
It's on his website. Any other board comments?
Yes, we have the attorney coming 9/16 at 5 PM. next door.
Okay.
And that's for zoning and Planning?
It's the-
And selectmen.
Gonna be selectmen, ZBA, and planning board.
He's coming in 9:16.
9:16, 5 PM was it?
Yes.
5 to 7.
Do we need to, are you submitting any kind of
If anything we
questions in advance
If
or?
well,
Yes.
we have one meeting, she has a lot of things to tell us, but if we had any questions, that would be helpful, if we wanted to submit some.
Is this one that we signed? Sorry.
And that's a non-public
It's
meeting
written,
with the
correct.
attorney, correct?
That's right.
That's for the consultant.
It's selectmen, zoning, and us. You know, it's gonna be stuff like class 6 roads and
Yeah.
what if you don't have enough frontage on Garden or what have you.
That's gonna be under discussion in a non-public meeting.
No, it's
Specifically.
it's attorney board meeting.
Well, I'm just trying to make it clear, don't start talking about things that are supposed to be public.
It won't be individual discussion.
Who's gonna run the meeting?
I suspect the selectmen.
Or you're the chair?
Yes.
Okay.
Anything else, folks?
My glasses were just.
All right.
While we're here, probably, I don't know, what's going on with the bridge? What's the update
Oh,
on the
it's moving
bridge?
along, going good.
What's that mean?
It means we signed the contract, have done surveying, and Chris tells me they did some test borings today that were scheduled for next week. They pulled them up another week, so they're doing the borings. And
What's next? What happens next?
It's going to be continued fact-finding until they get all the data they need in order to provide
Solution?
a plan of what. So the surveying locates everybody's property, every detail of the area. The test boring indicates stuff you can't physically see, so you need to know where ledge is or bedrock and where it is and how deep it is. Once they gather all of that data, they'll come together and make a plan for what they want to do. And then after that, it will probably come to the town to see if it meets with the town's approval. And then once everybody's decided on that, it would go out to bid to find us a contractor to do the actual physical work.
So do we think that'll be, how far from now?
they thought they needed 6 months to start. They started July 1st.
So
Hopefully,
after the first of the year or something?
Yeah, I would say with any luck,
Yeah, like-
before town meeting, with any luck.
Okay.
It's always delays.
took us forever to get the two lawyers to agree on that contract.
Well, I'm sure you'll keep pushing.
That's why we hired the lawyers, but they down the
It'd be
floor.
nice if we could do it next year, because, you know, prices just keep going up.
Oh, yeah, we'll see.
Thank you.
Planning board meeting adjourned 7:22.
Marshall,
Yes, sir.
you know, the inspection report signed,
You gotta change your date from 2016 to 2026.